This is the fourth season we are doing this. I mean, we've had 2 seasons of adults, we've had 1 season of kids, and now this is our 2nd season of kids. She really has no reason to be intimidated because, I mean, her asset, I mean, one, she's really mabait when she coaches, and kids really respond to her. A lot of kids who like that kind of, yung ganong personality,
coaching.
that kind of coaching style, they really will gravitate towards her. And then we also noticed a lot of the 13-year-olds go to her. The 13-year-old boys go to her. And there was one kid who just looked at her, 12 or 13 years old, and told her to her face that she was beautiful. And I'm like, oh my God! You look beautiful. I was dying. I was dying in the studio, and I don't think I ever stopped teasing her about it. Ang dami! And like 13-year-old boys, 12, 13-year-old boys, I just looked up at her, and because ang ganda-ganda naman niya, siya yung pinili. For example, if they go in thinking, I'm gonna pick Bamboo, or I'm gonna pick Lea, once she turns around, that's it, wala na. Wala na kami. It's very funny when it's funny when it happens. You'll all see it when it happens, and you'll know what I'm talking about when it happens. But I was laughing so much over those 4 days because of that.
Miss Lea, pag gano'n, mas challenging sa inyo na kunin yung talent. Kasi parang almost everyone, di ba? Kasi kids nga.
Oo.
Mas nag-aano sila kay
Sarah. Mas challenging in your part.
Hindi naman. There are kids who will go in na it's really either me or really Bamboo or really Sarah. They really know who they want. And there are kids who you cannot sway no matter what.
Right.
And I think there was even one kid I did not turn for, and then that kid was asked kung sino talagang idolo niya. Sinabi niyang ako, and I was like, oh my God, I felt so bad. I felt, oh my God, I'm so sorry.
Eh, wala pa namang steal for this.
And there's no steal. We don't, we can't do steals for kids. Kasi kunyari, all of our battle rounds kasi are not pairs. They're all trios. Para when one wins, there's 2 that can console each other. Imagine if there's a steal. So, na-steal. So, mag-iisa lang yun. Kung sino man yun. Kawawa. So, there's always a psychological consideration for every step of, you win alone, but when you lose, you're never alone. So, ganon. So, there's always one winner in a battle round and 2 losers. So,
the tapings ko, medyo nagka-tuksuhan kay ni Sarah about because she mentioned that she wanted to get married in 5 years. And
ano bang
you wanted to
kwento
receive
doon?
an invitation and you would like to sing
that's
for
why
the
I
wedding.
said, I'm like, so does it mean that in 5 years I'm going to get an invitation? And then I don't know how sure she actually was. Because a lot can happen in 5 years. From personal experience, I know that so many things can happen in a year, in 2 years. So 5 years down the line, she will be 32. That's the age I got married. So we'll see what happens. Anything, so many things happen.
So nag-volunteer ka na talaga?
Oh yeah, I'll sing for her wedding if she wants me to. If she wants me to. If she doesn't want me to, then that's absolutely fine also.
Do you have a song in mind right now?
No, because there could be many songs written within the next few years that would be perfect for her.
Pero ikaw, your choice.
Me? I mean,
On top of your head.
wala I'll be hired help at that point. So, kasi when I got married, I knew what songs I wanted sung. And I told the people singing at my wedding, and they were some of my best friends. I wanted my friends to sing for my wedding. These are the songs I want. So I would expect that she would do the same. Kasi ayoko naman sabihin sa akin ng bride, ikaw, anong gusto mo Hindi yan ang araw ko. It's not my day. It has to be the day of the bride and the groom. So whatever the bride and groom want to hear, that's the wish that you have to fulfill.
Do you give her love advice?
Hard eh. It's very it's hard. It's more like life advice than love advice, because you give somebody life advice that kind of goes for everything na eh. Parang it'll apply for everything else. Hindi lang sa love life. But yeah, she's very, and her mother says about her, she's a really good girl. a really, really good girl who thinks nothing bad of anybody, which is true. So, and in life, if there's anything anybody that has been through any life experience has learned, you have to think that there are people out there with the worst intentions in mind. And that's part of growing up. There are people who are good, and I'd like to have faith in people being good. But in the back of my mind, I know that not everyone is good, and that there are people whose intentions toward you are anything but honorable.
Pero Miss Lea, personally, ano yung hinahanap nyo ngayon sa ano? Sa magiging champion or part of your...
Well, they have to be gifted. They have to really be gifted. And everything plays into it, eh. And I realize, I look at so many of these big stars, and everything about who they are plays into it. It's not just their talent. I mean, it's also the life story does play into it. I realize it does. Because when you find something in that person's story that you can relate to, parang there's this rags to riches, I started from nothing and then I became something. Parang it gives you inspiration also na this person was able to make better choices or do something with their lives, which means that it's possible also for me. So that's one thing that will make people latch on. But I'm hoping that it's not just yung kwento ng isang tao ang maglalatch on sa kanila. You have to be talented. I mean, this is the voice. And ultimately that's the first thing we have to judge, and that's the first thing we're judging. It's the voice.
What's your take on yung comment na last season daw is parang the vote na lang? The vote.
Well, there's that too. And it becomes then the voice of the public that is heard. It's not just the voice of the artist, it's also the voice of the public. And whoever the public wants is whoever is crowned the winner. But here's the funny thing about many singing contests, even American Idol, which is going to have its final season, I think, after this one's over. And then I urge audiences to be careful also with who they choose. Sometimes the one who wins is not the most successful. Look at Jennifer Hudson lang. She was eliminated very early, and then she's the one who wins the Oscar.
Right.
And is the one who is continuing to get opportunities, and they're the ones who become the bigger stars. So it's a contest. And ultimately the winner is chosen by vote. But this is what I want to tell, and I've said this also to the team. I wrote them all a letter, and I said this to each member of the team, even as kids. If you don't get past certain rounds, it doesn't mean that your dream has to stop. Hindi naman ibig sabihin na hindi na magiging totoo yung mga pangarap mo. And sometimes this is just a stepping stone to where you're really supposed to be. For some people, for some artists, this is the big one. And if you win, then that's fantastic. But even if you win, this is still a stepping stone. This is only one step towards the rest of your career. And if you win, then you have an advantage.